Surprisingly, it looks like Green Bar International has come out with some more Final Faction stuff that might be worthy of the toy line. So I happened upon these the other day at my local Dollar Tree. Now, keep in mind, Dollar Tree, I think before in my previous Dollar Tree videos, I had them where everything was $1. Now they have moved up internationally to $1.25 for all items. And that's okay, because we're still getting action figures at a fairly decent price. Now, with this, we're getting Scope, Churro, and Torn. And I know that there's some others that will be coming out, though I haven't seen them all just yet. But we do get a whole bunch of question mark stuff here about other things coming out in the line. But on this little small wave, we're just getting these three. Now, before I break in and we start breaking this figure down and looking into it, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe now. Be sure to hit that like button down below, comment down below. I love talking with you all. And also be sure to hit that bell for notifications. All right, what do you say? Let's get into it. Now, looking at each one of these, and I'll take Scope here as a reference. Much like with the other Alpha Team 1 characters that we had in the first wave, we got kind of the same card. Now, it is the same size. We get a lot of the same things. We see long range specialist Scope down here. And it talks about the Final Faction cartoon, details on the back. We get the Final Faction logo, and then we get a actual picture of the character over here with all the stuff on it. There are some ways where I don't like having the character behind it because I feel like you lose some of the idea of the character, but all in all, it's okay. Now, he does have that press bubble where everything's pressed into place. It shouldn't be moving around or shaking or be loose. And that's pretty much it on that. If we go to the back, we see that we got that Final Faction logo here with the Specialist Scope, Alpha Team 1. And it's got some stats here about him, which I always thought was pretty cool. It's got Origins here. It's got a Weapon of Choice. It's got the Series 2 right here. So they're counting this as Series 2. And out of this, we got Churro, Scope, and Torn. But coming soon, we've got 1, 2, 3 Alpha Team people, and then 1, 2, 3 Karn people. Little blurb about what's going on in the story. And then you can scan this to watch the Final Faction cartoon, which I believe there are 2 episodes out right now. And this is going to be at Dollar Tree, and specifically Dollar Tree, though I believe he also comes with an ATV in a pack at Family Dollar. And I might go and check out Family Dollar one day here pretty soon, because I know they've got some Final Faction stuff there as well. Now, this is Churro. This is the Fido mech piloted by Churro. Churro's the dog way up there. I know Churro seems like kind of an accessory to this figure, but this is the vehicle to that figure right there. Then, of course, we get a picture of Churro and Fido back there. So technically this is Fido, and this is Churro. Go on to the back, much like the other. Of course, we get our picture here, some stats here, Origin and Weapon of Choice, and all the other stuff that we talked about here. Let's look at the next. Our last one in this small start of a wave is the Covert Ops Torn. I like it because look, he's got some scary looking eyes. Back and forth, an espionage guy right there. Kind of like Firefly or some of the other characters you would send out that would go and break in other places and get what you need, intel and such. It's like a spy. Now, one thing... Oh, no. They're all the same. I was going to say, it looks like this one is new to this, but all the others, the thing was usually kind of covered. So, no, all the bubbles are saying just a new picture, Covert Op Torn, and then some stats and stuff on the back for him. Pretty cool. So this one, Origin is unknown. Interesting. Now that's the 3 figures right now in the wave that have come out. Okay, and I've got some other accessory pieces that came out, like the little weapon sets that kind of are showing one other character down the wave, which I might, do a run of next week. But for right now, we're going to look at these right here. Scope, Churro, and Torn. Now that's the card art. And the card art's not going to tell us anything else about this. We need to get these out and get to playing. Alright guys, and of course, here are our three. Scope, Churro with Fido, and then of course, Torn. So, this is what they look like, and I gotta be honest, there's some really interesting features going on with these. Let's adjust real quick. Okay, so I actually want to start off by looking at Fido here, and of course Churro. Now Churro is one whole piece, so he is one whole piece, but he is able to be picked up by other members on the team and carried around from his harness. This is a pretty cool feature. We didn't have to have that, but I kind of like that we did. Now, Fido, the big portion here, has got a pivot head, got pivot feet, so legs that move. And I noticed that there's a couple of areas here where we've got paint application, and then we've got spots to put a weapon pack if we need it on the dog, which is pretty awesome. The tail actually moves a little bit too, which is pretty cool. Now this piece opens up here, and Churro, I believe, would fit in kind of like that. Now, Churro is protected inside of Fido. Now notice with mine, there's a little bit of flashing on the feet. There we go. It doesn't necessarily want to sit quite the way we want it to sit, but it still does the job. You can imagine having like some wings on here, some thrusters, or like a peggable machine gun. That would be kind of cool. Roar. So that's Fido. I dig it. I think this one works really well. Let's take a look at Torn. Now, Torn is one that I'm a little torn about, and it kills me because he's got that metallic purple, and I love metallic purple. The coloring on this is fantastic, but there's a few things that I feel are a bit of a miss. Now, he's got standard articulation, so the pivot legs, pivot arms. His legs only go out so far, which is okay, and his gimmick is that he can turn into his kind of alien style self or his normal self. And this hood is supposed to sit in and kind of peg in the back. But the problems that we end up having with this is that the hood, it didn't hold very well. And that's just, I don't know like what could be done to make that sit a little bit better, but that one doesn't sit very well. And then he's got these fold out blades, and these blades actually go on his arms, which is kind of a cool feature. You can roll them back. I know the new weapons pack, I believe, has got something that deals with that. And then he's got, for once, we have, kind of like with our lady friend that had the working scabbard, he's got a working holster. But one of the problems that I have with this holster, oh, yeah, there it goes. It doesn't hold very well. The gun's just a little too smooth. And it actually reminds me of some of the guns that we got with the Clone Wars fellas. Some of the Hasbro Clone War figures. But the problem I have is this gun doesn't really want to hold. And I've tried this with two. My kid has this one. I have it too, and both of us, like that holster does not want to kind of hold those pieces down. I also noticed that he tends to be a little back heavy, so he wants to fall. So you got to scrunch him forward in order to get kind of a shelf pose out of him. Now, our last one, of course, is Scope. And, Scope, I think I'm probably most happy with because he also has working holsters. So let's kind of break him down here. He's got that metallic red, which is super nice. Head's a little thin, but it's okay. Fairly good paint app. But then he's got one working holster here that holds these tiny little guns. And the way they molded it, it actually holds down that gun fairly well. Same here. Holds it down. Excellent. So he's got two guns. Neither one of them wanting to fall out. On top of that, he's got this really cool, it's like an ammo pack. And then with his ammo pack, so that plugs in up here. With his ammo pack, he also has a peggable spot for his scoped rifle. I dig that a lot. And you don't have to pose him too far forward to have him hold straight. And the weapon, it holds in his hands fairly well. Alright, here's my sure shot. It's a pretty cool addition to the team. And honestly, I feel like they fit really well with the other figures that we have. I can't wait to see him, of course, with his sister, because his sister is Agent Shift, and she has the same red, though I'm kind of wishing she would have had the metallic red as well. Now, these figures are available right now at Dollar Tree, so you can go and find them. Last time I went, I had a hard time. I found a couple, but I think I found Scope and Churro, but I didn't find Torn. But I'm hearing that they're available at a lot of the Dollar Trees now, and they're going to be at $1.25. So if you're going out hunting for these, good luck with the toy hunt. This episode of Tay Ray Gun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.